Lord have mercy, people. We have somehow got the job done tonight. And we should have done better, by the way, but for a couple of decisions, which we will have to talk about in this video. But Leeds United have got the job done away from home against Middlesbrough. We've stopped the rut back in the win column. And honestly, this night couldn't have gone any better. Couldn't have gone any better. So Leeds United get the win 1-0 away from home. Very good game. I actually enjoyed the game. So you know what I mean. It was one of those where I was kind of dreading it before. Not gonna lie to you, but yeah, good result tonight, and results elsewhere have helped us. It's all back in our hands again now. Nothing in regards of Sheffield United, Burnley having to look at their result. We are now top of the pile again, and I'll get into that in just a moment. Please, people. Yeah. Just after, yeah, it was a intense game. Listen, Middlesbrough, by the way, they had chances. I know that they didn't have a lot of shots on target, but some of the chances they created today, they were so dangerous, so dangerous. And if they had their shooting boots on or someone to get on the end of them, it could have been a different story. But we also had our opportunities too, where we scored legitimate goals that were ruled out. But we'll get into that in a bit. Oh, listen, I haven't even done the housekeeping. Please like the video, drop your comments below, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And of course, super thanks and super chats will be, of course, prioritized as they should be. Yeah, nice 3-win. Yeah, I'm not doing the whole 3-0 win, and also because of just the logic of if we had scored that second goal with Tanaka, then that third goal doesn't happen in that scenario because it would have had to been restarted by Middlesbrough from the center circle. I'm like that, so I never do that thing. You know, like if someone misses 3 chances and someone says they could have had a hat trick, I always go, well, not really, because those scenarios don't happen in that order. But listen, that's just my overthinking head. Don't worry about it. But look. Burnley tonight have gone to Derby 0-0. Sheffield United, another game without a goal and another 1-0 loss. And I said in the preview, by the way, that with Sheffield United, Chris Wilder had a little dig at the fans. And I said, you've got to take advantage of any little chink in the armor of the two above us at the time of recording. And I don't know what's happened in that game. I don't know how they've played, but to lose 1-0 at home to Millwall, that's a shocking result to me. In fact, out of all three of us, out of all 3 teams, we had the hardest fixture, by the way, easily as well. Middlesbrough away, who are flying at the moment with their form, very confident, as you could probably see from their play tonight. And we've got the win, and all that, and the other 2 have dropped points. Gavin saying here, DJ look injured. Yeah, hopefully it's nothing. It's nothing too serious. I guess we'll get an update before the Preston game. But something I want to say just before we go on, because it has been a good night. We've got to follow it up against Preston now at home. Don't let this win be in vain, and then we're going back to being in 3rd place at the end of Saturday or the end of this game week. Let's get Preston at our place at Ellen Road and get another 3 points and really crank up the pressure on the 2 that are below us again. Let's have a look. Oh man. So yeah, McAllister Bishop here saying Darlow man of the match. I feel so secure with Carl Darlow in goal. I mean, there's a few things actually tonight where you think, man, if only we had seen some of this a bit sooner, we'd probably be in a much healthier position. But yeah, Carl Darlow, I gotta speak on Joel Peru as well today. And I don't want to do it, but you know me, I'm a football man, and I gotta call it how I see it. He had a stinker tonight. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did on the pitch. I'm not gonna lie to you people. He should not have been on the pitch that long. But we're going to speak about that in a bit. But going back to Carl Darlow, you can just see he breeds confidence in the players. You can see that he's a calm force back there. He's very vocal as well, very commanding as well. He just does all the basics that you need him to do. And when he's called upon, they didn't have a shot until the 60th minute. That's when they actually first had a shot on target. And he just answers the bell. That's all you need from your goalkeeper. You don't need him to do heroics here and there. You know, we're not getting peppered with 25 shots a game. You know, we're not in the Premier League yet, but he just does all the basics right, man. And even towards the end of the game management that he was doing, letting the ball run towards him and then waiting and then just diving on it. You know what I mean? Just good stuff from Carl Darlow, man. And it's one of those, isn't it? If we had him sooner, man, we'd be in a better position. Obviously, we can't do nothing about it now. It's just a shame that he wasn't utilized, you know, a bit sooner. But yeah, Carl Darlow, a very good presence back there. Just going into the super chats and what have you. Hyru here saying, I don't care about style points. Job done tonight. March on together. Big up. Theo here saying Lionel hates Leeds, but who doesn't? 3 points regardless of blind officials. Points dropped by the Sheffield United and Burnley. Love to see it. Cy now, shout out to you, Cy. I'm off for a lay down in a darkened room and rub myself down with a damp Radio Times. Huh? I don't know what that means, Cy, but have a good time. Enjoy that, yeah. Enjoy that. But yeah, listen, shout out for the support. Crypto Steve, we got cut up incredibly easier. We'll speak about that. We'll speak because let's speak about it now, just while we're here. The defending today was a little bit all over the shop. I think that's fair to say. There were some very important clearances, Firpo, especially in the first half. But let me get this player's name because I've forgotten what he's called. Burzorg. Let me just say Burzorg, man. I had the commentary on mute. But yeah, he was giving Firpo a little bit of a tough time, especially in that second half when Middlesbrough got on top of us for about like a 15-minute spell. In similar to the Luton goal that we conceded on the weekend, I don't know what's going on with our defense, but we seem to be following the ball a little bit like school children. You know, where school children all follow the ball and then just leave spaces open. We seem to be leaving the back post free, and we did that a few times tonight, man. And we got away with it because Ian Nacho, Morgan Whitaker, and a couple of others, even Bergzorg himself, they just didn't have the composure to finish their chances. And you just think if they had got free and got the shots on target, Darlow's got a better chance of saving them than our other keeper. But they were free a few times, man. And I'd like to see us clean that up over the next 5 games. Just get that out of our game. I don't think it should be continuing. But in terms of the defense, yeah, it needs to be a little bit more solid. But look, I do think with Gurev in there, we do look a little bit more defensively solid in the midfield. I do give Farker credit for that in terms of the Gurev, selection. He does give you that little bit more defensive stability because Gurev at times was dropping in and it was looking like we had a back 3 at times with Gurev. So, yeah, it worked today. And Middlesbrough, we nullified them. But listen, Shane, that's the League One. We won't slip up now. Well, listen, I put it in a poll. After the game against Luton, a lot of the poll was swinging into a majority thinking we're going to finish in the playoffs. I'm interested to see how you guys are feeling now. Lewis here saying Bogle's solid. Yeah, Bogle's looking much better, man. That his performance against Luton was just so unlike Jayden Bogle. It was really unlike him. He wasn't getting forward. He wasn't doing those runs that he usually does. He was withdrawn at times. But yeah, much better from Jayden today. Perritt House saying with a super sticker, salute to you, Perritt House. Thank you so much for that support, man. Scott though saying Gurev was marking fresher all night, absolutely no pace to get about the pitch. Yeah, it's not really about pace, it was more about his positioning, and that's what he was doing today. He was adding an extra body in the middle, but the problem is with that they were then going wide, and that's where all the trouble was coming, but they just couldn't finish today, luckily for us. Who else today? What did you guys think of Brendan Aronson tonight? I'm just wondering in terms of that. Yeah, Anto saying their Gurev played well, so there you go. You got 2 different opinions there. Brendan Aronson today. By the way, Brendan Aronson and Solomon both did tricks on the pitch today. I wonder if that will get called out, though. I wonder if that will get called out. Will they be dropped for the next one? Because there's no time for tricks, remember. But yeah, listen. Right. JTech saying here, Brendan, usual high energy, useless play. Aronson is cardio. Aronson rubbish. Carl, I would say this one. That's where I would go. Carl ran around a lot, but not effective. Yeah, but Mike is saying the spin move was class. It was, but we're not allowing that. Or is it okay for his favorites to do pirouettes in the middle of the pitch? We shall see, won't we? Captain Elwood saying BA was mayor, didn't win many jewels, probably deserves a public lashing from TF. Yeah, you're right. And Captain Elwood. Verba still didn't get on the pitch today. So, it's not really my fault he hasn't scored a free kick. Just saying. Yeah, he did, Perk. I think it was around that as well. Aronson gave the ball away around 3 times in the first half. Could have been a one more as well, Perk. I'm not going to lie. It's one of those where this is what I'm talking about, and it's the hypocrisy that we've seen. Ramazani didn't see the pitch today. Not even a minute. So, we always thinking, and some of you was asking me, are we going to see Ramazani again? And I said, I'm sure we will, because Farker will probably give him charity minutes here and there just to see if he'll prove a point, but he's not even getting on the pitch. Isaac Schmidt was literally the replacement for Dan James. You know what I mean? Interesting thing as well, by the way. Um, Stuart Dallas in the build up was talking about Nanto losing his place, and what I do like about Stuart Dallas, I'm not saying Stuart Dallas for manager like some of you have run with, and I wish I knew where you guys got that from. But he's very honest with his opinions. I will say that, unlike Jermaine Beckford and a few of the others that are literally, puppets for the club, he does say what he thinks. And he did say about Nanto in that the manager's come out and said that he's got a little problem with his ankle, but he feels that he didn't do well in that game, but it wasn't going well for a lot of people. And it feels like he gave him one chance. It didn't go well, and he's dropped him again. Thought that was very candid by Stuart. I'm not, and he's done it before as well with Elan Meslier. And Meslier was obviously a teammate of his for a longer time. And he said when Mellier's, played poorly and everything else like that. So thought that was an interesting observation by Stuart Dallas. Oh no. Peru. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna speak about Peru. Trust me, it's coming. I don't want to do it, but I gotta do it. I have to do it. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be doing, I wouldn't be doing my thing properly, would I? Tanaka, by the way, apart from the disallowed goal, I thought his first half was a little bit shaky too. If that goal would have stood, it would have given him a huge confidence boost. But again, I thought there was a lot of distance covered with Tanaka, but not a lot of substance to it today. I thought there was a lot of passing back, which is, I know that we're trying to protect something here against Middlesbrough, but again, I thought this would have been a good game if Rothwell was fit, if Tanaka could have held the bench tonight, come back for the Preston game. But listen, I still trust Tanaka. I've still got, full trust in him. I just want him to get back to that level before. And speaking of levels before, our goal, Dan James, the one that actually stood, it was like back in the peak of January, February, where Solomon and James were just in simpatico and just, had that, I know where you're going to be, and they had that link play where they were just trading assists and goals with each other. And it was good to see that again today. Because again, with Solomon, I'm not surprised, but his inclusion in the starting 11 for me was questionable with his recent form. Shut up, ESPN. But he showed up tonight, Manor Solomon. He did well, apart from the one where him and Peru both just did not bust the gut for the ball that Dan James put across. Lovely ball, by the way, by Bogle to James for that cut the defense open. They didn't do too well on that. But yeah, if Manor Solomon's going to start, it was nice to see him do what he was doing before, and that's getting that ball across the 6-yard box, and Dan James just being there. 2-2 now for James, who's back in form now, which is great to see. Let's see what's John saying here. It annoys me when fans call our best players garbage when they have an off day and then champion our worst sick notes to replace him. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing it a lot in the chat, and unless it's something I fully agree with, look. I'll speak about it. I will speak about it because he did actually have a nice finish that should have stood as well. In all fairness, but we got to get to Peru with this one. Peru, Lord have mercy, man. You make it difficult for me. I back you, and I say what kind of player you are, but even in those instances today, he was so off it from basically minute one, and he's quite lucky as well that their goal was offside. Theirs was actually clearly offside, by the way, but just that simple miss kick from the corner. But it goes before that when we was building up play. Apart from one time where he actually did flick it to the person it was supposed to go, he was taking 2-3 touches and then losing the ball. I don't know how many duels Joel Peru lost today, but it's going to be high. Surely it's going to be high. And then as well, just with the chances that he could have made, he was so nervous and playing within himself. He was getting the ball, and instead of keeping the move flowing, he was passing it to the side or passing it back. He was so off it today, and it wouldn't have surprised me if he got taken off at halftime. And maybe it's the lack of trust with Joseph at this point, or the lack of trust in Bamford's fitness for a 45-minute stint, why he stayed on the pitch. But he could have been taken off way earlier. And as I mentioned, that chance, that you've got to throw your body in front of that. You have to. There's no excuse for you not to at least bust a gut. Him and Manor Solomon, both of them collectively, should have got something on that Dan James cross. It was bread and butter. That's what you're asking for. Have to score. You have to score, or at least try and get on it. And Joel Peru tonight, he had a Hall of Shame performance. And the thing is now, he's playing himself out of the starting 11. Like the performance he's putting in are kind of playing himself out. And it won't surprise me. It won't surprise me if we see Bamford starting on the weekend. Um, and in all fairness to Bamford, I will be fair. He's looked okay. All right. He's looked okay. So it's not one of these things. I mean, he's still slow. I mean, at the end, when we were countering forward and Schmidt was going forward, when Bamford was trying to run, it's painful to watch. It's still painful. He's never been pacey, and he's just definitely not pacey now. But when it came to his opportunity that he did put away, it was a nice finish, and it's more than what Peru did in this game. But listen, um, what's silly comment because you know what, I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna look lower myself to that. You know what, I put out a post on Instagram the other day about comprehension. Somebody said that comprehension is at its lowest in today, in society today, and I couldn't agree more. And some of the comments in the chat right now are just proving that point. Comprehension is just lost, and I know I speak very clearly because I concisely get my points out and give my reasoning why I say what I say. I'm not a buffoon where I just shout things out like a passion merchant. I'm a very thoughtful guy. So if you don't understand it, that says more about you. Okay, so Adam here saying here, Bamford looks solid today. I'm not a big fan of his, but he must have earned the nod over Peru with how bad he's been recently. We shall see, Adam, because the other thing with the whole Bamford thing is he fit enough to start? That's the next question, Adam. He can come on for 25 minutes or whatever it was today as in addition, but can he go from minute 1 to a certain minute with the start of the game? Not coming in when the game is ebbing and flowing, but can he set the tone for the game? I guess we'll find out on Saturday with that. But if he drops Peru for Bamford, it wouldn't be a shock to me. And there's nothing that Joel Peru can really say in his own defense to say I don't deserve this treatment because he hasn't been good for a few games. He wouldn't be he hasn't been good for a few games, man. Uh yeah, I know a lot of people are saying this, and Carlos has said it as well. If Bamford can't start, I'd go with Joseph. I would too, Carlos, but I think he's made his point clear over the last couple of press conferences where he did say after the Luton game that even though Joseph was ill, he wouldn't have been on the bench anyway. It would have been Bamford. And then today he's played Bamford ahead of Joseph again. So just going by the manager and his selections, it's clear that Bamford is knocking on the door to get the next start if Peru keeps this up. Um, Jackie is saying, I think Darlow's distribution is much better than Melier's. We have a keeper who doesn't constantly kick the ball into touch. Yeah, he did it one time today, Jack, just one. But usually he plays a safe ball. He usually rolls it out or just puts it to Joe Rodon. Or when he does kick it up the pitch, it does stay in place. So you're absolutely right with that. There's just everything about Darlow is just better. And it is a breath of fresh air. I don't have that nervous palpitation that I have with Eli Melier when the opposition go forward. I think we've got a better chance of not conceding just like basic goals now. So, long may it continue. For me, he has the shirt for the rest of the season anyway. I don't see Farker bringing back Melier. I think it would just bring in too many feelings. The players, by the way, have made their feelings clear about Melier. So I think we're good with Darlow for the remaining games. I think we are. Let's have a look here. What's people saying? Hyru here. Yep, I give Farker props for subbing Firpo. He was shaky in defense tonight. Byram held the fort down. Yeah, Byram made some very, very important interceptions at the end. Obviously, going forward, the moves did break down with him and Nonto a bit because that's just not his forte of going forward. But yeah, in defensive cover where we needed him at the end, he was absolutely key. And I've always said with Farker, I understand his insistence of playing Byram because he is probably our best defender in terms of a fullback. I think defensively, he's probably number one. It's just he misses all the other attributes that you need in terms of getting up and down and, simple crosses and everything else like that. But yeah, he locked it down towards the end, man. But someone saying it was not good. I think it was good. I absolutely do think it was good. But yeah, yeah, good yellow card. Yeah. What we saying here? What else was there in terms of the starting? Let me just see here. Let me go back onto this team sheet here. Giavogi got minutes tonight to help lock it down. Isaac Schmidt, as we know, and largely nowhere to be seen. So yeah, and a Nanto thing as well. Yeah, I thought he did well when he came on as well. He did look like a danger. By the way, let's just speak about the two disallowed goals because they were huge today. That the linesman as well, who Adam Pope has said, it's the same linesman that has now ruled out 3 goals unfairly this season, one against Coventry, one against Millwall, one now against Middlesbrough. I just don't know how you missed that. And you know me on this channel, people. I don't speak about refs. I don't speak about linesmen because I say control the controllables. But when you've done what you're supposed to do, you can't have these kind of decisions against you. You can't. It was a clear goal from Tanaka, clear goal. And the thing is with the linesman, all he was looking, if you're looking at where the linesman should be looking, he can only be looking at Tanaka because Gruev and Vandenberg in front of them, they were like a foot apart. So it was clear Gruev wasn't offside. And the fact that he's given that as offside because Tanaka's got round, if he hasn't seen it and he figures, wait a minute, how did you just get round so easily? It must be offside. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible decision. Like, there's just no excuses for it, people. There's just no excuses. He's level with it. There's no traffic in front of him. It's not like there's 3, 4 bodies or 8 bodies, hustling, bustling with each other, trying to, trick each other with the line. It was simple, and he absolutely messed that up. You can't do that, man. But the thing is, with these linesmen, with these refs, there's no accountability, man. They'll go on to the next game and just carry on. But what I would say with Leeds United, if this is true from Popey, and I think he would have got this verified, otherwise he wouldn't put it out because that's just bad news for that linesman. Leeds have just got to insist he can't do any more games for Leeds. We see that in the Premier League with some managers saying, no, too many decisions by this referee has gone against us. He can't ref any more of our games because we think that it's not, a fair playing field. He can't do any more of our games. Absolutely not. Not after that one. So, yeah. And then the next one, and a lovely goal, by the way, nice. But and again, it just makes you think, why haven't we seen more of Schmidt? But that's a whole other subject. Schmidt with the break out to Nanto, lovely little ball through to Bamford, who timed his run perfectly, and it's offside. Listen, I understand it's not an easy job, and linesmen overall get most of the decisions correct. This time it was the other linesman, not this one that I'm showing you on screen here. You can't keep getting these wrong, though. It wasn't even close to offside. And with Bamford being the speed that he is, should be able to see that. Lovely finish as well by Bamford, gotta say. I was ready. I was thinking, here come all the Bamford sexuals. They're gonna get me tonight. But the linesman got it completely wrong. So it's a shame that the scoreline wasn't more comfortable, but at the same time, people, it's a good thing it did not affect the result today, because otherwise there'd be an inquest tonight. And there still should be. Look, we'll get a letter later this week saying, we apologize for those 2 errors, but they could have been costly on any other day, especially in the form that we've been in. It could have been costly, especially if Middlesbrough had put away one of those chances that they created. So thankfully, it hasn't affected us, but it is very, very frustrating, especially for the 2 players as well. You got Tanaka, who that goal would have done a world of good with his recent form, and Bamford, obviously, who hasn't scored or assisted this season. It would have been good for him, and it would have probably definitely cemented him for a start if he's fit enough on Saturday. But look, it is what it is with that now. It hasn't affected us, so we can move on. But yeah, it wasn't a good. As Telly said here, if today was an advertisement for the league colluding with Sky to keep Leeds and the cash cow down, don't know what is. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in all that stuff. Telly and everyone else, I don't believe all that. Now you believe us now. It's just bad decisions, and it's not the only time I've seen it, and it's not only for Leeds United. I've seen it this season. See many decisions this season where you just think, how have these guys got professional? How are these guys professional linesmen, referees, and they're getting things like this wrong? But you know what? We move on, and we move on to Preston on Saturday, people. Captain Elwood here saying Bamford playing for a contract extension, no doubt. He's just waiting to go down injured after putting pen to paper. No, Captain Elwood, I'd be absolutely stunned. I think if he signs a new contract at this football club, I don't know if I'd ever come back on here again. I'm not gonna lie. I think it would be too tough for me. But no, I think he's just finally trying to earn some of the money, or pay back some of the money that he's taken for the longest time without doing something. And listen, I'm not taking anything away from him. He looked good when he came on today. He looked like it. Shall I say Bamford of old? But even so, It's about time he showed up, man. He owes us, man. He's in deficit. This guy has got no credit at this point. So, he owes us some goals now. The team have done well up to this point. He needs to chip in, and I'm sure if he continues with the way that he's cameoed over the last two games, it will come. I'm sure it will. Crypto Steve saying here, Bogle hasn't seen much in attack in the last two games as in previous game. Wonder if it's instructions. Yeah, I think so too, Steve, just purely on the basis of especially the Luton game, Steve. I mean, he was just non-existent in that one. He was a little bit better today, but yeah, you're right. When we was on form and just buzzing at the top of the league before this one, before this us returning to the top of the league, he was almost like an extra winger out there, wasn't he? But I think that the instruction, because we have been leaking goals over the last few games, has been for him just to stay back a little bit more. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it as long as other people are there to pick up the slack and be attacking. And Dan James, in all fairness, has picked up the slack, big time for us. So, yeah, it is what it is. What we're saying here, Hyro here saying Farker complained about the linesman. We'll see if the league keeps him far away from us. Yeah, and he's right to, by the way. He's right to complain. You've got to. You can't let these things stand. And even for Bamford, by the way, when his goal was chalked off, he's got to make more of a meal of that and say, hey, what you doing here? I mean, Tanaka went on for like 5 minutes, and fair play to him that he didn't get booked for that, because he was going on for ages. He was like, why have you disallowed the goal? What? How can you say I was offside? But yeah, you've got to complain about these things. Let's have a look. Telly saying Furpo making a case for your boy Joshua. He's not my boy. I just like him. I just like him, and I think he's a good fullback. Oh man, Chris in the house here saying Peru dyed his hair grey and moved like an OAP. Yeah, listen, Peru, man. Listen, you don't do any favors for yourself, man. You don't do any favors. Carlos here saying here pressure on Sheffield United now. Yeah, I mean, look, two losses in a row, and again, those were two very very favorable fixtures. Oxford away, Millwall at home. For Sheffield United in the form they've been in, that's two winnable games there, and they haven't even picked up a point. So, yeah, ebbs and flows with this one, and I'm just happy. You know what? Just forgetting Sheffield United and Burnley for a minute, I'm just happy that we got the win today. I really am. Like I said at the top of the show, I was nervous for this game, man. I wasn't feeling too good about this one. I thought, God, if we're gonna play anything like we've played recently and the way Middlesbrough are playing, we're gonna have a long night. But you know what? They turned up today, and I'm glad. I always like to be glad to be proven wrong on these kind of things, and they turned up and played, well enough. It was like a basketball game at times, just up end to end at some points. But yeah, just good to get 3 points in there and have some players just playing a little bit better than before, and hopefully it continues and we can finish the season strong. That's my hope anyway. Ryan here saying you did call it KG a Bamford goal against Boro. Yeah, he loves it, man. He loves it. You can hear the Middlesbrough fans. They're always on his back, and he seems to like really relish that. He seems to feed off it. So it was just, it's one of those things where he seems to love playing against Middlesbrough. So yeah, it would have been nice for it to have counted, in all fairness. Yeah, Hyru, we're ahead of the table tonight. Yeah, listen, it's good to see, man. Let me just get the table up. How good does that look now? Listen, compared to the last stream when we was down in third and we was all like, oh, you know what I mean? But it is nice to see it though, but we've got to follow it up, people. We got to keep on it. It is literally all in our hands now. That it's as simple as that. We do what we need to do, we're up, we're promoted. By the way, people, have you seen the promoted teams from last season have absolutely stunk the Premier League out. If we go up, we cannot follow their models, follow our own, build our own, and follow that. What Leicester have done, by the way, is shameful. Eight home games in a row without a scoring and losing is a new record in English football. Yeah, listen. I think Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to get sacked. Southampton already sacked their manager. Ipswich are looking down. Yeah, we got to change stuff. But listen, we're not there yet. I'm just saying we've got to do some things very very different when if we're promoted. What did I say? Have I said something left? 5 games left. I don't think I said a different number, did I? I don't know. I think so too, Philip. I do think so, but yeah. Michael here saying league table just need to be better than Sheffield United and Burnley. Bonus, those two play each other to come. Yeah, yeah, it means something now. In the form that we was in before, people, I was wondering why people kept talking about that one, because if we were going to continue with what we were doing, then it wouldn't have mattered what they did, because we'd have just dropped so far that it would have been a non-factor. But now the pressure is on both of those teams, and it's good to be in this position again. But let's build on it on Saturday. Let's have a good. Let's go. Let's go. Can you get? Let's have a look here. Seastone. Man, I haven't seen you in a while, Seastone. What's going on, man? We'll be happy for 49ers to get their own person in to replace Kinnear. Yeah, I'm sure that all that will come um, in the summer. Of course it will. We've got some changes at boardroom level anyway that need, positions need to be filled. Ryan here saying if we win a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, I may start to believe. Yeah, I mean the good thing is, I mean, it hasn't mattered too much, but it is at home, which we tend to do, better at. By the way, again, with us going ahead, we didn't lose a game, which is a good stat to have. But yeah, 12:30 kickoff, but it's at Ellen Road. That should make all the difference. We're not going away for this one. I'm sure the preparation can be a little bit different for a home game, and it's Preston, people. I mean, I don't know what Preston are doing right now. Let me just check the standings here. I mean, they're they're not doing anything. I mean, all they'd be doing is coming to play spoiler, but obviously we'll preview that game before that. But they're not in a battle for promotion or relegation. So everything is for us to win that game comfortably. But not everything could be comfortable. I know that. Yeah, listen. I don't think there's anything else. What is Michael saying here? Dan James took a battering tonight, wouldn't lie down, put Peru to shame, whose shirt is still dry. Yeah, yeah. I agree, man. Dan James was good tonight, man. Uh, Jack here saying, I came in late. Why are you coming late, Jack? Where you been? No, I'm just joking. Did you give credit for Ampadu for the long balls he was playing at the back? No, I didn't, Jack. But yeah, again, he was good in defense today. A lot of you did say he would play back. He did say Verbal wasn't fully fit for this one, so that's why he wouldn't start. But yeah, it would be nice to see Ampadu back in the midfield and get Verber on the pitch if possible, if he can stay fit, just for the balance for me. I just like Ampadu, and I just prefer him in midfield overall. I know he's good, decent for us at the back, but for me, he does his best work at defensive midfield and allows Tanaka then to be a bit more free. And listen, having Roden and Verber as a centre back pairing is not too shabby, is it? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, I know, Haru. I saw that, man. I was looking forward to a night of AFTV tonight, but I'm gonna have to give it a miss. I don't think I can listen to all those guys after that. But no, fair play to Arsenal, man. But Real Madrid, Bernabeu, sometimes magic can happen, but we shall see. Tyler here saying little off topic, but did you take time to enjoy all this Ovi news? No, you're a Pens fan. Yeah, I'm a Pens fan, but Ovi is the greatest goal scorer of all time, and he cemented that now. So yeah, big achievement, man. I thought he'd probably do it next season, but he's been on fire, man. He even had a broken leg, man. That's hockey players though. They just made a different stuff, aren't they? Kelvin here. Do you think we'll lose again this season? Let me see the fixtures, man, Kelvin. Let me see. Because I thought this Boro game was going to be the one that we'd probably get tripped up in. We got Preston next, Oxford away next Friday. Then a few days later, Stoke at home. And then the next Monday after that, Bristol City at home, then Plymouth away. Hey, there's a good chance we don't lose. I just jinxed it now, innit? I just jinxed it. But no, I look at we shouldn't be losing any of these fixtures, but as we've seen with Sheffield United, there's no guarantees in football. It's not played on paper. But if we play anything like we've done today against this level of side here, even I include Bristol City in that, I know they're sniffing in the playoffs, then we should be okay. But the good thing is it is back in our hands now. It is back in our hands. So yeah, we shall see. Yeah, D Parker saying passing Gretzky and anything is ridiculous. Yeah, it's all mad. I mean, Crosby did pass him as well for like 20 season and so many points, point per game. So yeah, it is what it is in that. Lewis here saying Farker reversing his double down on Schmidt is hilarious. Yeah, man, Schmidt's the flavor of the month now. But look, Schmidt has performed today like I've seen him in other cameos, apart from the cup game where I didn't think he really performed well. But yeah, I don't think there's been anything wrong with him. But obviously, he's doing things that Farker likes in training quite clearly. He's now put himself ahead of Largi Ramazani, who, listen, if it carries on this way and Farker is still here next season, then I think largely's gone in the summer. You can't have this kind of minutes. Players don't accept that. Agents of the players won't accept that either. And I think if it's gone the way that it seems to have gone with Largy and Daniel Farker, then there's no other option than to part ways in the summer. But I hope it's not. I hope that doesn't happen, of course. But listen, I think that is it, people. I think that is it. Martin here, let me just get this one here. Had a speak tonight, mate, but proved wrong. And I'm so happy for that. But exhausted, though. Yeah. Yeah. But listen, people, that is it for the show, man. There's nothing else to say. Let me just get the poll results here. Okay. So the polls finished. Top two, 82%, playoff 17%. It's kind of just flipped on its head now in terms of the results that were after the Luton game, where people thought we would finish in the playoffs. So the winds have changed, and let's keep this run going, man. Let's go up in the top two and show the Premier League what they've been missing with real Leeds United, not that what haphazard one that we were a couple of years ago. Let's go up and show what the real Leeds United can be. Yeah, but we've still got work to do. 5 more games, people. That is it for the show. Please like the video before you go. It really does help out the channel, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.